Hey guys, your boy 4ID, and I'm back with another episode of 4I Talks. Today we're going to be talking about detaching from your outcome, especially as an artist. So when you're starting off, or when you're aspiring, you have this mindset that you have this idea of what you want from art. And this is something we spoke about in the last episode about your dreams, where you feel like you have this preconception of what your artwork should look like. You have a preconception of what your results of your artwork should get, whether it's your validation, whether it's people telling you how good your art is, whether it's the income, whether it's the value that it's providing to the world. Whatever this is, whatever your idea of success is as an artist, there is very important for you to detach from that outcome. And like I said in the other episode, it's very easy for you to forget that you might actually be already living your dream, or it's very easy for you to not notice when your dream actually begins, because you are so fixated on this climax, you're so fixated on the high point, that even in the beginning, where they're just introducing the work, where your character is just being introduced, where there's this hero's arc, or is it hero's arc? Yeah, hero's arc, maybe the downside or whatever. You don't really understand that that's already your dream. Your dream has already begun, but you can't just tell because you feel like it has to start from the climax. That's when you're going to notice it. And so I'm just reiterating what I spoke about. But now, after that, what I want to talk about today is just being able to detach from that. And the reason why you should detach from it is not just because of how it would make you feel not getting it. It's not just about the concept of you not actually getting your dreams achieved. Also, part of it is you actually achieving the dreams, because you might feel like whatever outcome you would get is going to be, you get the outcome. Maybe that's something that most movies has already put in our heads. Like, you get the dreams and everybody's happy, and before you know it, they are showing the credits and the movie is over. Everybody lives happily ever after. But most times that's really far from the way outcomes come about, because you might actually feel like whenever you get it, your life is going to just be going higher and higher from there. But life is still a roller coaster. You're still going to come down, you're still going to go up, you're still going to go higher, you're still going to go a lot lower, and it's just a roller coaster. So one of the disadvantages of being so fixated on that dream, being so fixated on that outcome, is that when it actually comes, number one is that sometimes it might be underwhelming. Sometimes the results might not even be as interesting as the process. It might not even be as interesting as the journey. Sometimes I think I was recently watching I think I saw a tennis player say something like that, where it was just like, I don't know if it's tennis or golf, but he was just saying something about the fact that he's been chasing so many championships, and to a large extent you can't really do much with the championships. There's not really much to do with it. Like, you obviously will celebrate the work, but then again, you're just back to your low point. It's not really as exciting as you might expect it to be. You might think that you're just going to be going high points, high, and that high will never end. But somehow, whatever high you get from achieving that dream is going to end. And so that's one of it. To a large extent, it can be very underwhelming. And that's underwhelm, or I don't know the word, that feeling of not, that jaded feeling that you get, can actually lead even to an even lower point than you were before you achieved that dream. So that's one of it. And then another part is that it can box you up. And so this is something I noticed at one point, where maybe you do something and it goes viral, and you feel like you can't. It's like, recently I was seeing this on TikTok. There was this edit that became very popular. I've forgotten the name of the person who made the edit itself, but I think it's a something. But it was this crazy edit that everybody started like hyping up, and everybody wanted to try out. Every other editor wanted to try this edit out, and I was seeing some other people talk about it, and they were like, this editor is in some kind of, he hasn't posted since because he feels like he can't really top that. And I don't know if this is true. Maybe he's actually working on something much better. But just the simple mindset of the fact that having success can actually lead you to a point where you are even scared of creating. And that happened to me. I think there was a time I had, at the time when I had a couple followers, I felt very boxed up. I felt like everything I had to post, everything I had to put out was supposed to be well refined because I have a lot of eyes on me at that time. And recently, maybe because that went away and now it's just me talking to a very low amount of people or something, but there's been a lot of experimentation with it and I'm very happy about that. I'm very astonished at the fact that I can just do something and put it out and not really care about the way it's going to be seen because I don't really have that high of an expectation on me anymore. And that's another thing, like I said, when it comes to success, that success can actually box you up. And so I'm not telling you that all these disadvantages is enough to make you feel like you shouldn't chase your dreams or you shouldn't try to get those things. But learn to detach. And what does detach mean? Detach doesn't mean being indifferent about your dream. It doesn't mean being like a daisical about it or being nonchalant about it. It means that whether it comes or not, what you're going to do to achieve that dream would always keep happening. If you're going to continue working every day, you're going to keep going to work every day to achieve something, whether or not somebody came to you and said, oh, you may never achieve this thing, there's a 99% chance you would never achieve it and there's a 1% chance you would you keep going? That's the question you have to answer to yourself. If you wanted to become an actor and somebody came to tell you that you only have one person in a theater of a theater capacity of 1,000 and you only have one audience, would you still try as much as possible to act good? Would you still learn your script the same way? Would you still put your mind down and try as much to capture the essence of your work? How much of your work are you going to put in? How much of your effort are you going to put in, knowing fully well that you might just be presenting in an empty theater? That's the question you're supposed to answer. Are you still going to work the same way if you know that if you posted, you would probably get only one like? How much of your work are you going to put in? So that detachment, the moment you can have that detachment, that's when you actually start to not grow in terms of, it's not a magical thing where you detach and then you're going to start growing. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but that detachment is when your growth, you can be able to stop focusing on the result and focus on the growth, because that growth is happening whether or not you like it, whether or not you notice it. The growth is happening. Let's say, think about a plant. Think about an orange tree. You plant an orange tree and you're looking at it and you feel like this orange tree today is not bringing out fruit. So the orange tree is not bringing out fruit and therefore it's not growing. The orange tree is not bringing out fruit and therefore it's not growing. And you do that for months and you do that for even years and you're not seeing any fruit and you feel like this orange tree is not growing. But at the same time, you are not going to stop the fact that the orange tree is growing. It's going to keep growing any way you like it, whether you like it or not. It's going to keep growing. But then the issue is, when you set so much attention on the growth of the tree and the fact that it's going to bear fruit, you might not really enjoy the moment that you're having while that tree grows. The happiness that you get from watching this tree grow up slowly, you might not really enjoy that. It's like giving birth to a child and feeling like, okay, I want my child to become a doctor. And 6 months after giving birth to this child, you're like, you're not a doctor yet, you're not my child. Oh, he's in primary 1. Oh, you're not a doctor yet, you're not my child. You're not my dream child yet. And the child is now in secondary school and you're still like, nah, you're not my dream child yet, until you have that. And one day your child changes his mind and says, I want to become a musician, and now you're having a heart attack and you're about to die. That's exactly how art works. When you put too much attention on the product or whatever results you are expecting, when you put too much attention on that, there's a good chance that it may never happen. There's a good chance that if it happens, it may be underwhelming. There's a good chance that it might box you up, and there's also a good chance that even if it does happen, even if it does work out, even if all of these things work out and it does make you happy, the high wouldn't last that long. And then you're just opting for a whole different project. You're just hoping for a whole different problem to solve again, after waiting so long to see this problem come to reality or see these results come to reality. So that's one thing. As an artist, when you create something, don't put too much attention on how people receive it. Don't put too much attention on what people say about it or what income you get from it. Put an attention on the growth that you're having. Keep your mind on the fact that you started off maybe drawing stick figures and now you're drawing skeletons. And maybe one day you're going to start adding flesh to that drawing. And maybe another day you're going to be able to draw a full anatomical picture. And that's something that you're going to be thinking about. Now, if you started drawing the stick figures and from the first day you're already thinking about why can't I get the anatomical picture and why can't I beat the boss already and why can't I just be winning, then you might not really find happiness when it comes to art, because art is about the process. Most of it is about the process. Most of the times, whenever you're even done, it's not even as joyful as the process of you making it and the act of you working on it. So, like I said, just detach from that. Remove your mind from that, because it is not going to be, most likely it will be, but like I said, it might not last that long. But it is not going to be as hyped up as you expect it to be. There's going to be lots of disadvantages to having your success come at a certain point where you might have just been expecting it to happen and it doesn't happen the exact same way you want it to. So learn to detach, learn to remove your mind from things. Do not be indifferent, do not be nonchalant, do not neglect a habit just because you say you want to detach from your results. Put in that habit and remove your mind from the fact that that result is going to come. Go to the theater and act your film. Act out the whole drama. Do it the exact same way you would have done it if you were in front of a million people. And one day or the other, you might just end up finding out that there were a million people actually watching you from the sidelines, and you just didn't know. Always put in the work that people are watching, and one way or the other, people will actually start to pay attention to you. Whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, whether you're an actor, whatever you think is a creative thing that you're doing, make sure that you do it like everybody is already watching you, and not really attach too much attention to whatever results you think you will get in the future. Once again, I'm 4ID. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, comment hi or yes or thank you or alpha or whatever. Just comment something and then subscribe to this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Share it to whatever friend you have that you think is going to learn a lot from this conversation. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for listening. Peace.